Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Thank you to Kevin McAllister for becoming a new member. I appreciate all of your support. I'm going to be dropping some member content this weekend, over the weekend. So be on the lookout for that. But thank you so much. And thank you as well, Reg Tonight. Thank you so much for becoming YouTube members. Just make sure you pick the right level for access to videos. The first level does not have access to member only videos. The second level does. I may change the second level to be for live streams, and I don't know exactly. I don't want to make a third level necessarily. If I get a certain amount of members, I'll do live streams. Right now, it's not enough members for it. So if I get to 200 or 300 members, I'll start doing live streams specifically for members. But good day to everyone. Hopefully everybody's doing well this Friday. Ramadan Mubarak for all of the Muslims, especially if you are fasting Ramadan. But they went on ahead and arrested him. I know Pink Book gonna be all over it. I know Pink Book gonna be all over that. I'll be waiting for Pink Book to drop. That's why I don't really talk on Tiffany Henyard. Because Pink Book Lessons has done an awesome, extensive job on covering all of her and her shenanigans. So sometimes, when people do such a good job with something, you don't come back behind that and try to, you know what I mean? Like I did a little something with Tiffany Henyard after she got on Rolly's platform and lied to his face, and he sat there and let her lie. But other than that, I don't really focus on, you know what I mean? Pink Book was out there like, listen, y'all do realize I'm the one that broke the story, right? And she did, rightfully so. She did. So I don't know who has not been crediting her, because I know there are people watching her videos and coming up making their own content as if they had done the research for it. No. But anyway, so I'm glad that there's something being done for her, because she has made like national news with that foolishness. Tiffany Henyard has scooped up so much dirt with her back feet that it has crossed it has covered the nation. She has covered the nation with the dust and the dirt that she has scooped with her back feet in Dalton. How you cover the nation with back feet dirt? Thank you, Miss Bella, for posting the link, sweetheart. I appreciate you. We actually gonna get to it. Right. I was getting so sick of that. So sick of that, Miss Bella. So sick. Y'all just hating, Anyway, that's a hyena's go-to. So today I want to do a little bit of we're going to take a look at a guest that was on Kendra G. Kendra G, if I just wanted to make content reacting to the people that come on Kendra G's channel, I would never run out of content. It's just that it would become even more repetitive than anything else. But it's just an amazing amount of content. These women that come on there are just, they're amazing, but not in a good way. We've got one. We've got one here. Let me share screen. This one here. This one here. I may go ahead and play it a little bit from the beginning, but you know how they do the little intro and blah, 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 blah. The intro is not necessarily important, but she gets into some things. And this is one more that I want to do on storytelling, but that's almost a secondary focus. What I really want to focus on is being desperate for any old kind of man, to the point where you will waste your own time as a woman. These are case studies, if you will. Okay? Look at these as case studies. All right? This woman made a string of decisions, and many women like her make these similar kinds of decisions. And then at the end of making these similar kinds of decisions, will say that the men are no good. Now, sometimes the men aren't any good, right? Because we're not going to say every man is perfect. That's just not true. But what I want to do, what I want to point out, is how women play a role in the time wasting that they engage in. Chasing after a man and the possibility of a situation with a man and making certain decisions, but these are not smart decisions. Y'all with me so far? So we're gonna start it up. Let's see. Let's go back to it.
Zodiac sign.
I am a Sagittarius.
All right, Sagittarius. All right, so we got Lay. She has a. You could say her name again for the people. One Sagittarius, mom to a 12-year-old son, never married, assistant manager at a credit union. What kind of man you looking for, girl?
So to be honest with you, Kendra, I'm looking for someone who's honest. Like if it's not a relationship you want, if you want a friend, then say you want a friend. I was in a really long situationship, about 5 years, honestly, which brought me down.
5 years in a situationship. I keep telling y'all, stop wasting your time with these men. Stop wasting your time with these men. What do I mean by that? He will make you more than a good time, a friends with benefit. He'll make you more than that when you're more than that to him. Let me be clear. Even a lioness, there are men who won't see value in her to be a wife. Maybe they're not ready to be husbands. Maybe they hyenas, whatever. But as a lioness, he'll keep you as his own personal whore if you let him. Knowing all the time, whole time, knowing you are a lioness, but you're not living up to it. You're not doing what lionesses do. Getting caught in situations where you don't need to be. Every man does not want you as a wife, whether you're wife material or not. Now, double that when you're not wife material. Double that when you're not wife material. If you are with a man that you really want to be with in a relationship, 1 year, okay, 2, there's different circumstances. It's not no hard, fast rule chiseled in stone that you got to be married within the first year. There's no chisel in stone for that. So you might go into 2 years. Depending upon the situation, that might not be so bad. Once you start getting in the end of year 3, go into year 4, go into year 5, and there is no commitment coming from that man. I don't care if he vaguely talk about marriage. If that is vague, if the marriage talk does not have, if the marriage talk doesn't have any concrete anything behind it, if he's not saying, okay, me and you need to get married and we need to be doing XYZ so that we can get married, they'll take that initiative because that's what they want. And they want it with you, so they'll take that initiative. Men who do not take any initiative, they may or may not loosely, vaguely talk about marriage in a general way, kind of that they are not trying to be married. They either not trying to get married at all, or they're not trying to get married to you. One of the two. Either way, it's the same result for you. Whether he's not marrying you because he's not ready to be a husband yet, or he's not marrying you because it's you, either way, the result is the same for you as the woman in the situation. You have to cut that tie, take the lesson, take the learn, and be better, make better decisions going forward, and go forward. We are the ones that operate on time in relationships. We do. Men do not. They don't. They just don't.
Down to Charlotte and I got my heart broken down here. So originally I'm from Maryland. So I want to meet someone who's honest and intentional. Like I said, I'm 31. I have a 12-year-old son. I want someone who's a good role model, a good figure. I'm not looking for anyone to play the father role. He has a father who's involved, but I do want someone who sets a good example for my son. You know, someone who's emotionally in tune with themselves, because I felt like in my past, I can honestly say, I know you'll ask me my flaws at some point, but I can honestly say that I'm emotionally dependent when I'm dealing with someone. And I just want someone who can be not emotional with me, but who understands and accepts the fact that as a female, I do have a softer side. And I just want someone who supports that.
Okay,
I want y'all to understand what she's saying. This woman has a 12, 13-year-old son. She didn't want the man that she had been with for 5 years to take the fathership role because she said that her son has a father that is involved. Yet, you'll hear her say what kind of decision she made. Moved all the way down to North Carolina for a man that you were neither engaged to nor married to. You uprooted your son away from his biological involved father to take him down to a place with a man that you have been messing with, or whatever, for 5 years. Do you understand where I'm going with that? Do y'all see? Is it that don't make no sense? Now do it, right? Because why would you take your son? Why not just give your son to his father? If you're going, listen, if you're going to chase D around the United States of America and you have a child, especially a boy that old, and his father is involved with him, give him to his daddy. You chasing D, you on a D mission. You on a D chasing mission. Get that boy to his father. And then you chase D, if that's indeed what you want to do. Why would you take that boy away from his father, his biological father, whom by your admission is an involved father, to go to a man that ain't asked you about no marriage? He ain't put no ring on your finger for no marriage. He ain't said, come on down here and be my wife. Y'all gonna hear the stupid stuff. We gonna go ahead and let it play.
I want to ask about something though. You said love moved you to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
Was your child's father?
No, I haven't been with my child's father since he was about 3.
Okay, so when did you move to Charlotte?
I moved to Charlotte in August of 2023.
Okay, wait, last year.
Yeah.
So what happened? Wait a minute, what happened?
Like I said, apparently one of my flaws is that I'm an emotional being. And by emotional, I'm not crazy or anything like that. But when I deal with you, I love really hard, Kendra. I love really, really hard. And when my feelings get hurt, I'll let you know. Like sometimes, yes, I may cry or whatever, but
But tell me how you relocated. Was you in a relationship? We need the backstory.
So the person that I was dealing with also lived in Maryland. We're both from Maryland, and he relocated to Charlotte. He was in Charlotte before me for about 2 years, and he, would constantly bring up, "Why don't you move to Charlotte? Why don't you move to Charlotte?" And then I ended up moving to Charlotte.
And he's saying this as your man. Y'all in a relationship. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. And then when I moved down, I hate to say this, but this is how I explained it to my girlfriends. It almost seemed like when he realized that he was all I had to depend on, it kind of got taken advantage of, and it just didn't go the way I expected.
The way they be telling stories. Why don't you move to Charlotte? Why don't you move to Charlotte? Your answer was supposed to be no, beloved. Your answer to that was supposed to be no. And the reason why her answer was supposed to be no is because they were not engaged to be married. They were not already married. They had no concrete date or plan to be married. They sit there and talk about I love hard. That is an excuse for that. I love hard is what hyenas say when they just real emotional in a relationship, but don't know how to express that emotion properly or non-combatively or non-toxically. They have strong emotion about the person, but they are unable to convey that emotion to the person without coming off toxic and without coming off too masculine or too trying to be domineering or controlling about it. Do you understand? That's what love hard means. I love hard. I have a lot of emotion. I don't know how to control my emotions. I don't know how to regulate. my emotions and things of that nature. So I look to, it's actually kind of born in insecurities as well. I look to the man to alleviate the insecurities, but not to a healthy degree, beyond a healthy degree. And I look to him to be the main person to regulate my emotions. That's what love hard means. I would posit that lionesses don't necessarily love hard. We love deeply. We love deeply. We have a lot of emotion towards the person. But we also realize that we are the first person that has to regulate our emotions about that. And he is secondary to regulating our emotions in a relationship. Because men do have a hand in regulating your emotions too. That would be the balance of masculine and feminine. He regulates our emotions for us, or he helps to do so. And we provide the insight and the emotionality to his rigid logic and reasoning and analysis. So the balance is there. She got there in April of 2023. Just keep on listening. Oh, I'm sorry. Uh-oh.
So the person that I was dealing with also lived in Maryland. We're both from Maryland, and he relocated to Charlotte. He was in Charlotte before me for about 2 years, and he, would constantly bring up, "Why don't you move to Charlotte? Why don't you move to Charlotte?" And then I ended up moving to Charlotte.
And he's saying this as your man. Y'all in a relationship. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. And then when I moved down, I hate to say this, but this is how I explain it to my girlfriends. It almost seemed like when he realized that he was all I had to depend on, it kind of got taken advantage of, and it just didn't go the way I.
But you just got there. August is what, maybe 6 months ago?
Yep, 6, 7 months ago.
When did y'all break up?
Maybe about 2 months ago.
And did y'all live together when you moved there?
No, I had my own place. He had his own place.
But you moved down because of this man.
Yeah, and so to be honest with you, Kendra, once I moved down to Charlotte, I quickly realized that he had his own life in Charlotte. Regardless of him asking me to come down or not, like I quickly realized that he had his own life in Charlotte.
Ain't no man. The first problem is that if a man asks you and he's serious and he asks you as your man to move, relocate to him, but he don't want you to move with him, no. Because if I relocate my life to be with you, we gonna move together because we gonna be together. You're not gonna move me down because the coochie was too far away. Huh? You are not gonna move me down to get the coochie closer, to shorten the coochie proximities. No. I am not moving down there with you to have my own place so I can just be on call. It's closer and it's easier for me to just be on call. No, sir. If I'm relocating, you're going to be with me. I ain't going nowhere. I am not going nowhere off of a promise and a hey, how you doing? I ain't uplifting my life, uproot my life. You know what it take to move cross country? All the logistics, the money. You got to just get find somewhere. And no. Baby, he was just talking. He was just cupcaking on the phone. That's all he was doing. Ladies, you can't. You cannot make these types of decisions based on a maybe. We might be together at some point. It is looking like it could be. No. If he ain't help you, get you down there, make sure, okay, well, I went and got a bigger place so you could come in. You know, I got you a place here. If he didn't make no provision for that, and it was 100% up to you to make all the plans, get together all the money, get together all the stuff, find your own place, go on down there on your own, he did not want you. He was cupcaking on that phone. And talking sweet to you. All that man wanted you to do, most he wanted you to do was catch a little flight down there. Did you even go down there before moving? So I could kind of see the lay of the land, you know, see what's really going on. Then you would have realized that he had his own life. That meant he didn't pay her no mind when she got down there. That's what that means. You supposed to go down there. He was down there 2 whole years before asking you to come down there. You were supposed to go down there and just see. Don't make no pressure. Don't ask him, well, can I come? And don't do none of that. Just go on down there and say, oh, baby, you know, I was just coming down here and give you a little something and, you know, just kind of kick it for a little bit. You know, that's all right. He say, yeah, that's all right, because that's all he wants. And you would have quickly realized, oh, he don't really want. He has moved on, not only physically, but emotionally. And he has all this other stuff going on. See, she don't mean he had his own life as in he had a job, had stuff he was doing, other stuff. That's normal. You would expect a man to have his own stuff like that. What she meant was when I came down there, we weren't really in a relationship. I realized that moving to a different city did not change my position from just available coochie to nothing else. I was still available coochie. And it was difficult for me to understand that and accept that, because I thought that if I made this move, because he quote unquote talked about this move that I was supposed to be making, not even with him. She thought that would elevate her out of her position as just being some, you know, friends with bennies. This is the number one rule. Ladies, if you are confused on a consistent basis, whether or not you're in a relationship or not, you are not. Because no matter whatever else this man is doing or saying, if he don't come out of his mouth unprovoked to say, we are in a relationship. You are my woman. These are my intentions. He got to at least say that. I could almost see you doing some stuff on the back of he said that definitively. We're going to come back so y'all can hear the rest of this foolishness. But we're also going to go to a quick commercial break. So after these messages, we'll be right back. So what I need everybody to do is go to ashkicking.com. If you are looking to keep your skin looking and feeling and smelling its best, then you definitely need to pick up a jar or 2 or 3 of body butter from ashkicking.com. It definitely kicks the ashes because listen, when you get out that shower, you be nice and clean, but you be ashy too. And this will take away the ash all day. You don't have to keep applying it over and over again to get the moisturizing effect. It's a wonderful product. It's beautifully packaged, well presented. You can tell all of the care and quality that went into the products and all of their personal care. If this is your first time ordering, then definitely take advantage of the 10% discount off of your first order using the promo code Crimson. All right. So what you want to do is hit the link at the top of the chat for ashkicking.com and pick up your order today. I don't know how many likes I need, but I know all y'all are bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to, So thank you for that. Okay, there's one super chat. Thank you, Mark. Says, sorry I'm late for the barbecue. No problem. And thank you for the super chat and kicking off the contribution. So she moved down there and realized that her position was not going to change. She was in the same position in North Carolina that she was in Maryland with this man. So if they were together 5 years and he had been down there 2, they had only spent together in the same vicinity, in the same city or whatever, 3 years, right? Then he moved. So that was 2 years. So that's the 5 years. She moved last year down to North Carolina. And as of the airing of this show, this aired about 2 weeks ago. All right. So, early March. She said they've been broken up 2 months now. That didn't take very long, did it?
Ooh, okay. So now you're single. Wow. So would you leave or you want to stay there?
To be honest with you, I was literally just telling my best friend this. Maybe within like the next year or so, I'm thinking about relocating to Houston. But as of right now, Charlotte's home for me. I know how to bounce back pretty easily. Like I said, I'm working. At the end of the day, I still have to be a mom, so my focus has shifted to other things. But
okay,
if I
some of
stay
the
here,
cousins, listen. Okay, shout out to the cousins. They pick up on things that I miss. They're saying
okay.
that you said it was a situationship, not a relationship.
So I call it a situationship now because I feel like maybe I was more involved than what he was. But at the same time, like I said, honestly, he asked me to move down here. We were intimate. We've been dealing with each other for a very, very long
Okay, well,
time.
but
Like I
so
said,
you
5
never
years.
had the conversation of you're my man, I'm your girl.
Yeah, we've absolutely had that conversation.
So
We've absolutely
why
had
was you
that
confused
conversation.
whether it was a situationship or a relationship?
Because when I moved down here to Charlotte, like I said, I quickly realized that he had a totally different life outside of my understanding of what
Let
we
me
were.
ask you this, not
So
to cut you off. Not to
No
cut you off,
problem.
but why didn't you move
Mhm.
in with him? Like he wanted you to move and get your own apartment.
So that was never offered. That was never something that was on the table. Like, move down here and we gonna get a place together. That was never something that we
Well,
discussed.
that's
I've
why
never lived
that's
with
where
the
you
man.
messed up. I think that's the biggest. No, right there. I mean, sincerely, like, listen, I'm all for relocating, but if someone's asked you to relocate, then we're moving in together, right? If I'm moving my city, it should be or state, it should be serious enough that we are moving in together. Where did you live?
I lived in Maryland, and
Thank you for saying that, Kendra. We are moving in together. If it's serious enough for me to uproot, I'm moving with you. We gonna be together. That's what I think. He did not ask her to come down there. She mentioned coming down there. I want to be closer to you. And he said, I don't know. That might be all right. And then she said it again. I just want to be closer to you. I mean, it was just feel like we so far apart. And he said, well, I mean, if you come down here, I mean, it is cool, down here, it's, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff to do. That's how that went. And it happened like 5 times. And then she said, I'm coming down there. I'm going to be there in April. You and what? Uh-huh. I found me an apartment and everything. And I'm finna come down there with you. I'm finna come down there with you. And he was like, oh, what? And Shaw was like, well, like, what's the address? What's the place you moving to? Such and such, such and such. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm coming down there. I'm coming down there with you. Be with my boo thing. Be with my boo. Because she said it. I was more into the relationship than he was. I was more into it than he was. I.e., I thought we were in a relationship. He knew that we were not in a relationship. I also knew that we were not in a relationship, but I allowed myself to accept the delusion that we were in a relationship. And then I moved as if we were in a relationship until I got down there and the reality smacked me in my face again that I really was just an available piece of coochie to him and not very important. And then she talking about in the next year she gonna move to Houston. So you just ain't gonna never get that daddy, his son back, huh? That ain't gonna happen. And this is why I'm doing the show. This right here, Miss Bella. It's sad. It is sad. Some women don't know any better and don't have the intellect to know it is a no-go. They allow their emotions. What's happening is the allowance of the emotions to cloud the judgment, along with the desperation to have men. This was the problem. And I'm going to get to the super chats in a minute. This was the problem with that Risa Tisa girl. The one that did the Who Did I Marry? See, I have not talked about her because honestly speaking, her story gave me anxiety. Like I watched the whole thing, all 50 parts of it, and that story gave me anxiety. I do honest when I'm talking about that Risa Tisa, I do believe that she just wanted a relationship. She wanted one, and she wanted one so badly that she allowed the foolishness from the get-go. If you listen to her story, how she even got into that relationship was crazy. It was a pandemic relationship. They met in March off of a dating app. They met, hit it off. Then shortly thereafter, the quarantine happened. And she quarantined with that man in her house. She had not known him but a couple of weeks. Quarantine with that man. Do you understand me? He immediately started paying bills, and she admitted. Now, the only thing about Risa is she did admit to the stupidity. And I didn't never watch really none of the interviews she did after, so I don't know if she recanted any of that. But from the original series, she seemed to have been like, yeah, I was stupid. Right? And she said it, I was desperate. I was desperate. I was lonely. I was desperate. And therefore, I clung on to the first thing that seemed to be okay. But here's where these things are similar. Risa's story and this woman's story is similar. Okay? Because both of them ignored the cacophony of red flags waving in their face from day one. See, Risa's relationship lasted about a year or so too, which was ridiculous because so much stuff happened. This is the part where Risa lost me. When she admitted that she knew that he was lying about the house, and she like confirmed that to herself, like, he's lying to me about this. And in her desperation, this is from her mouth, in her desperation, she allowed it and continued to try to have a relationship with this man. Everything that happened after she came to the understanding and realization that he was definitely lying about trying to get a house and everything that happened after that is on her. She can tell a sad story, but everything that happened after that was her fault because she stayed there. And she continued to allow the lies to her face. So you play your own role in wasting your own time, lying to yourself about what's going on. And then finally, when the truth can no longer be denied, you want to talk about how it was the guy's fault. They have their accountability for the part, but my focus is on what is your accountability in that as the woman. It's not 100% him, because a thief gonna steal and a liar gonna lie. You understand what I'm saying? A thief gonna steal and a liar gonna lie. I don't care who you are, right? So if you got $500 sitting on a table, is it wrong for the thief to come in your house and get the $500 off the table? Of course it is. They should hold accountability for being thieves and coming in somewhere and taking stuff that don't belong to them. But should you have had it out? Because a thief gonna steal and a liar gonna lie. So if they have an opportunity, or if they are allowed an opportunity to, if a thief is allowed an opportunity to steal from you, he's gonna do that. If a liar is allowed the opportunity to lie, they're gonna lie. This woman fell prey to the same thing. Being desperate, ignoring what the man is saying, ignoring what he's doing, ignoring how he's moving, because you want him. This is why I'm saying desperation, and any man, they want any man. Because that was one of the things, I'm going to draw your attention to something as well. That was actually one of the things that among that Risa Tisa story, Who the F Did I Marry? Charlemagne ended up saying this, it sounded like big back activity or big back delusion, right? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember he said that? This woman ain't got no big back. See, it's not just the big back women. It's not just the unattractive women. It's not just the overweight women, the somewhat undesirable women or anything like that. That's the only ones desperate. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's not just those women or the women that one would consider not to be very attractive or what have you. It's all the women. It's the ones that think they look cute too. She ain't no big back. This is not no severely overweight woman. If she got a couple pounds, it ain't hurting her. You understand what I'm saying? She's fair looking. She ain't no beauty queen, but she not no ugly woman. Engaged in the same so-called big back energy as Risa Tisa was engaged in. Because it's not about having a big back. It's about not having no accountability. It's about being desperate because these men are no longer catering and coddling to the delusion of these women and going after them anyway. So what's happening is they're not allowed. The women are getting to a point where the women are not being allowed to act any kind of way, and the men go after them and be in a relationship with them and marry them anyway. The accountability that the men are holding the women to is denying the real relationship, denying the marriage, denying even categorizing what they do as a relationship. That these men have thought of everything to call these chicks but a wife. This my little side, this my little piece, this my little yeah, this my, everything but an actual wife, because you no longer fit this category. The vast majority of women no longer fit the category. So men are making up these nonsensical terms that have no meaning. Yeah, that's my little shouty. That these terms have no meaning. They don't mean anything. Okay? I need the women to understand that unless he's saying you are my wife, I married you, and you're my wife, you don't have a title. Okay? You don't have a title. So therefore, when they come up with, these little cute little names and these little pet names that they got for whatever it is, the names are nonsensical because the interaction has no structure. And the men know this. The men know that the interaction that they're having with you doesn't have any structure. They don't intend for it to have any structure because, why the only structure in a man's mind is his wife. That's the only structured relationship. This is the way men think. I'm trying to let women know the way men think. The only relationship that is structured in his mind that holds any weight is you are his wife. You're his wife. That's the one that holds weight. All this other stuff that he's talking about, you my little this and my little that doesn't mean anything. It sounds cute. It make you feel all warm and fuzzy like you're wanted, but you're not. And I need y'all to understand that. And this isn't an indictment on, this is not a men ain't ish diatribe. I'm trying to tell y'all, because just like Miss Bella said, a lot of y'all are out here so delusional that you don't understand how men move. This is the detriment as females that y'all put yourself in with men, because you are so high up on your horse and so haughty, not thinking that you need to understand how men think and you need to understand how men move. You feel like you're so above that they need to understand you. And so, because you lack this understanding, because you are not interested in gaining this understanding, because the women that have the understanding and try to give it to you are all pick-me's and mammies, right? That's who we are. So you don't listen to us when we talk to you about how men, the psyche of men, and how men regard relationships and women and things of that nature. I'm telling you, men don't hold no weight except for his wife. That is the woman that he hold weight for. That's the relationship that hold weight. All this other stuff, I mean, he might like you a little bit. I ain't saying he don't like you, or that there's no situation where he, you know what I'm saying, kind of feel a little something for you, but it's not to the level that he has decided I'm gonna cash it in with her. He has not decided that. Not for you, he has not. Time is the biggest teller of intent or a lack thereof. And women must determine relationships in terms of time. We must do that. Don't listen. When men talk about relationships among themselves, they don't talk about time, because that's much less of a factor to them than it is for women. We as females must regard relationships, and I mean like the courtship phase and the dating phase, like we have to regard that with in the lens of time, through the lens of time. Too much time passing, this is not a good sign. It's not a good sign for your relationship for too many years to pass and he has not given you the title, especially if you want that title from that man. But the thing that you have to understand is you cannot make him choose you. You can't. You can do everything that you think, quote unquote, he want a wife to do. He may have actually said the things that he would like a wife to do and things of that nature. And you may be trying to conform to that. The problem with that is that after a certain amount of time has passed, he has solidified what you are to him. Very rarely can you change it. That's a harsh reality for women to accept. But if you want to stop being a participant in wasting your time, then it would behoove you greatly to understand how men operate, how they think, and how they actually move versus what the sisterhood said they do and what the internet said they do. You have to watch men. You have to watch them work. You have to watch them talk. And you have to watch what they do and things of that nature. Because women get caught up in a lot of different ways. The hyena gets caught up trying to force a relationship that she can't force. Lionesses can get caught up trying to be a lioness in a situation that she can't be a lioness in. Because no matter how dope of a lioness you are, if the man is not interested in you, that effort will also be wasted. Do you understand? So being a lioness is not some type of golden ticket where you don't have any relationship problems. You're going to have, the first thing that you're going to have to understand is that lionesses are also flawed as women. We just don't have the same flaw as hyenas have. Okay? We're prone to emotionalism, things of that nature. You'll get caught up trying to be a lioness to a hyena and waste your own time and get your heart hurt. You trying to be submissive. You trying to, and a hyena is not going to give you nothing to submit to, because hyenas don't like lionesses. They don't like lionesses. They have just as much disdain for the lioness as the female hyena. They don't like, none of the hyenas like you. The hyena treats the lioness the same way the hyena treats the lion. She's attracted to his order and system, order and structure and all that kind of stuff. But the chaos within her, that boneyard mentality, don't let her have no peace with no lion. Eventually, she can't submit to system, order, and structure because she's not going to do it. Male hyenas are the same with lionesses. He's attracted to the femininity of the lioness. He's attracted to all these ideals. She's submissive. She listen. She do what he want. He ain't never had that because he only been dealing with hyenas. They don't listen to him. You get around a lioness and he feed off that feminine energy like a vampire, just like the female hyenas feed off of a lion's male and masculine energy like a vampire. She like that masculine energy, but she can't. Ultimately, she can't submit. She can't be a lioness. She can't. It's just not in her. She gonna buck that. She gonna buck the system. And she gonna break the relationship because of it. Because of her inability to actually submit. Hyenas suffer from a similar thing with lionesses. He's chaotic. He doesn't have a good leadership base. He's emotional, like in a bad way. He's emotionally unstable, like a female hyena. Ultimately, he sabotages this relationship with you. He don't like the peace because he don't know how to operate in it. He has no idea what to do with a woman that's actually being peaceful with him. He has no idea. It wig him out, actually. It kind of bug him a little bit. Like he like it, but it's weird to him. And normal to him is all this strife and foolishness. So he'll create it. The same way a female hyena will create it. She can't tolerate the peace that order bring and her man doing what he's supposed to do, because she can't tolerate that. So she's going to bring drama. She's going to bring problem. She's going to manufacture the problem. Do y'all understand? Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about, because I'm about to wrap this up. Let me read these super chats. Thank you so much, John. So, greeting, Mrs. Kept. Been a minute. Flash that ring, and we love and appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as well. Thank you, Frederick, says she holding a torch like the Statue of Liberty. Basha Quandra. Thank you, Timothy Blewett, for your super chat. Thank you, Steve, for your contribution as well. Thank you, Mark, said for the men who have been previously married to a hyena, but you were faithful and did the right thing, you were still her side piece. Exactly. Thank you, FBI said, I'm not going to up and away for a man that's not showing any interest in me, period. Exactly. Thank you, H-Back said, ladies, listen, lionesses can be rejected as well. Crimson is right. It is not a golden ticket. It is not. And thank you, Mogul, for your contribution as well. Okay. The hyena does not understand peace. They don't know how to operate in it. Peace and order and a healthy relationship, and they don't know none of that. So they sabotage. You trying to figure out, man, I was a lion be trying to figure out, man, I was doing everything I was supposed to do. Right. You just happen to be doing it for a hyena. She not gonna appreciate none of that. She don't care what you did. I just dropped the video. I just dropped the video, told y'all that y'all humanity is in your pocket. You're not even human to a hyena. Lionesses are not women to male hyenas. Hyenas do not regard lionesses as good women that to be cherished. They don't. They can't stand you. All that being feminine, they don't like that. They'll purposely push your buttons just to see the lioness roar now. See the lioness roar. Push the lioness's buttons till she bite. And then they be like, yeah, you ain't you just like the rest of me. You know what? The hyenas operate the same. It don't matter that they male or female. Do y'all realize that the hyenas, you can't differentiate between the male and the female? In nature, the female has a pseudo phallus. That's how masculine they are. You can't. Like on first glance, you don't know the male and the female because you can look, try to see their genitalia. They both got one. Yeah, that's right. They are indistinguishable. That's how confused it is. Yeah. Hyenas fall more in line with feline than canine. It's interesting because they don't look feline. They look like they might be more akin to a wild dog or something like that, more on the canine side of the game, and they are not. Why do you listen? That's the other reason them and lions don't get along, because they're both felines. The lion smell the fake cat. Like, you a bootleg cat, and I don't like you. You kind of got, a little bit of feline. You crossing the line. You're almost a canine when I look at you. But not really feline in you. But you want to look like a dog. This is why we bite you. This is why we bite you. Because you running around here, you look like a whole dog. So I'm finna bite you. That's the thing that I want to drive home. Lionesses, this message is for you. Don't be stupid. I'm giving you the game. Being a lioness does not exempt you from these kinds of problems. It is not a golden ticket. It is not a get out of jail free card. You're doing well to be a lioness. I'm not saying that. But lionesses can get tripped up in the boneyard too. You have to keep yourself together, keep your head on straight. If you're a young lioness, this is especially for you. I know it get hard out there without a man, but you cannot allow your desperation and your eagerness to prove that you are a lioness and that you're going to be a good woman to cloud your judgment and cloud your eyes and make you desperate so that you will turn a blind eye to red flags and things that don't sit well with you. This is why lionesses deal in the 10 life value system, because we are to go to our spiritual side for the discernment. Go to prayer, go to your spiritual house, go to your spiritual value to gain clarity and discernment. You must have discernment. This is the utmost. And you got to pray for it because we want what we want, right? We like who we like and all that kind of stuff. But that can cloud your judgment. Go to your spiritual value. Ask for discernment. God will help you clear that. Keep asking. Things they just not, if the math don't math, you have to start stepping back and just asking God for the clarity you need. Because you could be just moving in your own wants and desires. Thank you, Ricky. Said bingo, they reuse to give peace, or they're not used to peace. Thank you, Steve, once again for your contribution. And thank you, Rude Boy. So why do folks from Chicago sound like y'all from the South? Because so many of our parents and stuff, especially Gen X parents, was from the South. Yeah, first man, I'm going to say this and I'm going to log off. Your first man is God. That second guess is not. Your first mind, always follow your first. The old folk tell you, always follow your first mind. That first warning, no, do not do that. That's not good. That's right. And then when you start following it up with all the justifications and all the reasons and all of, that's you. That's nafs and shaitan. That second one. The first one is God. Thank you once again, HVAC, saying, ladies, that means he doesn't get none either at all. Exactly. Thank you, Growth. Ramadan Mubarak. Ramadan Kareem. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and log off. Listen, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye bye, Crimsonites.